Welcome back to another market open forecast video. This one's for the first full week of July. For those who don't know me, I'm Jack. I run the trading group here at High Tide Finance, and what we do in these videos is essentially just analyze the pound against the yen. We analyze each time frame individually, starting on the monthly right down to the 1 hour, and at the end of the video we put what we see in a nice little table and try and form a clear bias for the pair. Just a quick one on the disclaimer. High Tide Finance consists of a community of individuals learning how to trade the Forex markets together. So the important word there is that we're learning together. So the individuals in this community help each other by sharing what they've learnt in their trading journey, and nothing that we say or do should be taken as financial advice. Okay, so as always, we're going to start on the monthly time frame, and I want to draw your attention to this level here. I've drawn this box here, and the reason I've drawn it is because we're seeing historic reactions of this 157 area, just below 158. So the reason I want to talk about this area starting off on the monthly is because we've just got our June candle closing bearish. It's closed above this little area, interestingly enough, on the bottom wick, but it has closed bearish, indicating that we are looking like we're going to reject this area now on the higher time frames. The weekly time frame is still showing us a series of higher lows, so even though the June candle did close bearish, we're still getting that higher low created above 152 on the weekly time frame, so we can use this to help us with our bias. Interestingly enough, this area wasn't treated as a support. We spoke about this last Sunday, how this area could be treated as a support, but that didn't end up happening. So we did get a bearish candle close below, but the buyers stepped back into the market and didn't let us go any lower than 152, closing back up above 153, and then we had a bit of an indecisive weekly candle to close the month as we sort of transitioned into July. Okay, so down on the daily, we can really start to dig into the price action that we're seeing. So I just want to start off by drawing this trend line here off this wick. You can draw this trend line however you like, but I am seeing a couple touches of this line here from this wick to this wick, getting this one near about, this one rejecting, and then obviously you've got these two wicks here, which are perfect. Something else you can do there is draw a Fibonacci retracement from this low to this high here. So back when we had this nicely trending bullish market, gave us a nice move that we can draw a fib off, and we can see here how much of that move we've retraced. So starting off with this bearish move, we retraced down to the 618, that famous fib level for rejections. Sure enough, we rejected that, lines up with 152, psychological level. So in hindsight, making a lot of sense why we treated this area as a support. Then we came back up, failed to print a higher high, which is something we'll talk about later on. Come back down and rejected the 50% retracement period. So you can see how these fib levels are being respected in the market. Something else you can do is just tweak it and draw it off this low if you like. And to be honest, nothing much changes. That 618 is still being tapped perfectly with this wick. And that 50 thereabouts is getting rejected as well. So interesting Fibonacci retracement price action there in the market. But I want to talk about the lows and the highs in the market. So I can draw my horizontal levels now. I'm going to draw my first one off here. I can then clone this, bring one up to here. That's our high, and then I can bring one down to about here. I could even bring this up to there because I'm also seeing that level. Seen as the price action down here is so far away, it's not so relevant to us now, so we're not too concerned with that. Okay, so when I look into these horizontal levels, the first thing I'm seeing is obviously this one here at 153,500 thereabouts. We're getting this high in the market got created, pull back in the market, creating a lower low, higher low, excuse me, and then we broke that high eventually. So a nice bullish trending market, albeit these pullbacks are coming in big waves, we're still getting those higher highs created, right? We ranged up here at 154, creating a support off this level. Created our ultimate high then at 156, rejected that, which we spoke about on the monthly time frame, and now we've come back down. So at the moment on the daily time frame, there's no clear trend because you've got these lower highs. I can just draw that to show nice and clear. You get these lower highs now, but you've also got these higher lows when you zoom out and look at the bigger picture. So it's kind of a boring conclusion to have, but on the daily time frame, there's no clear bias. This level isn't being respected anymore, so I can either delete it or just put it back there to show how we were treating it as a key level in the market, but no longer are. 153 is barely being respected as an integer, and you're just getting these lower highs now on the daily time frame. So yeah, it's kind of a boring conclusion, but the daily isn't giving us a clear bias. We'll drop down to the 4 hour and the 1 hour to try and see what the short term momentum is saying. Okay, so we're down on the 4 hour time frame, and straight away what we're seeing is these lower highs, right? So we've got now a combination of a bearish monthly candle and a series of lower highs on the 4 hour time frame, rejecting that 156 level. And these two things together are proving to us that pound yen is more bearish than usual. Definitely leaning more on the bearish side, just looking at this 4 hour time frame alone. You've got this bullish move here, but this, to be honest, is just a correction of a very, very heavy sell-off in the market. What we can actually do is use this bullish move. We can zoom in and just draw another fib retracement from that low there to that high, and straight away we're seeing that 618 in the market get respected once again, lining up roughly with 153 or 152,500 thereabouts. We're also seeing, the 382 get respected, so this is a bit of a key level in the market as well that I could draw. Just change that to grey. But mainly, it's just bearish movement in the market. So the first thing I'm seeing is a nice clean range here. This is actually why I had a green box, so I'm going to put my box back to green there. So this is my clean range for buys. I can delete this fib now. I see potentially there's going to be some buys up here. But mainly it's this clean box down here looking for sells in that range for the week ahead. So down on the 1 hour, nothing really too different. I'm seeing a bit of a clean range up here above 154, but then we put ourselves at risk of the creation of a lower high below 155. So this is much less appealing. So I'm just going to delete that than this clean range down here. This is consistent with the momentum and the trend in the market. It would line up with a full correction of this bullish move here. A return to 151,500, and then we can truly activate our selling bias. But for now, I'm just looking at this clean range here. It's roughly 100 pips, 120 pips or something, 125 pips. I'm looking for that range for the week ahead for sells. This key level in the market is going to act as a bit of a pivot point here, sort of 154 area. We've seen historic reactions here. So we got a reaction here, and then those reactions continuing through for the last couple of weeks now. So we'll use 154 as a bit of a pivot point in the market, but definitely preferring these sells here. In summary then, we've got a bullish monthly trend and a bullish weekly trend, but both of those candles are bearish. The daily, as we've seen, is pretty unclear, but I'm leaning probably more on the bullish side because of the low highs we've seen. And then obviously on the 4 hour and the 1 hour, and everything below those, it's looking very bearish. So more leaning towards the bearish side on pound yen for the week ahead.